Go ahead.
Hey folks, we got a 1968 Ford Cortina, two-door, 1300 Deluxe. First heard about this car from my good friend, Kyle Harder. Said his brother picked up a beat-up old Bush car that he's planning on turning into a race car eventually. Happened to be a car that I've been looking for. I always liked the two-door Cortinas and thought it'd be kind of cool to do a throwback British racing car. And when I heard that this family had got one, I had to jump on it. So I ended up buying it off Kyle's brother, Braden, who's behind the camera today. And I've been working out of his shop, trying to get it back to somewhat of its former glory. So far it's been gutting the interior, doing sheet metal work, basically fixing the toe boards and the rockers, which are the main failures in the body. The plan is to keep it a full sheet metal restoration, no Bondo, no filler. It's never going to be a showroom car again because the plan is to build a road racing car, and it's going to be interesting. So you see a T5 transmission sitting in there. It's a 5-speed out of a 1986 Fox Body Mustang, and you saw a 302 sitting in mock-up mode, just kind of for fit and where it's going to be sitting. It's a lot lower than it's going to be. And it's also not going to be a 302, so there's going to be a blueprinted and balanced 289 going into this thing.
Trying to get that high revs 289.
That's going to be a high revving, screaming banshee of an engine. Kind of a throwback to what Carl Shelby did in the Cobra, a little British racing car. We're just doing it something that started out as a family car.
Well, it's a two-door, so it's a sporty family car.
Two-door. Started off as a slush box 3-speed. Rear end's going to be an 8-inch, Ford 8-inch out of a Comet, I believe it was.
That's right, out of my dad's 65 dragster. Originally had an 8-inch in it, and so Tyler bought that as an upgrade to whatever the heck this thing is.
It's going to be interesting.
This little toothpick of a of a diff.
Considered an English rear end.
Yeah.
Rated for the 54 horsepower that the car originally had.
Oh, 54.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it could get out of its own way, but we're going to be upgrading to a fuel cell in the back of a 15-gallon aluminum fuel cell. The original tank was completely rotted away.
Right.
So there's no saving it.
Did some welding back here too.
Yeah, rear wheel arches.
Patch that on both sides.
And eventually there's going to be full frame bracing. The goal for maybe next year, before it actually gets raced, is a cage.
Okay.
And that'll provide a lot of chassis stiffness too, because right now it's probably a little bendy. Really, there's not much to these cars. They're stamped steel with some welds and glue holding it together. So
yeah.
And all the glass is intact, which was huge for this car, because finding glass is nigh impossible.
And glass intact in rural Saskatchewan, where most of that's gravel, so that's it's a miracle.
It was kind of a miracle. So I have new rubber imported from the UK for the front and rear glass, as well as some of the side trim.
It's just that it's lifting and kind of coming apart. So
Kind of dry rotted away.
One of those little things for safety that it's kind of hard for them to squint and pass that when the seal's literally coming out.
And also driving it down the highway and trying to keep water out while we're doing only 100 kilometers an hour.
Right, doing the speed limit. Exactly.
Only the speed limit. It's been a work in progress, and excited to see where it goes. It's a pretty cool project. Not something I was expecting to come across my plate anytime soon. The mad lad Braden Harder.
That's what happens when you know the Harders. We just get stuff.
Yeah, so we're at the Harder Speed Shop.
That's right.
Only Fords.
That's right.
And it's going to be in good company with a 68 Torino and a 68 Cougar going around Gimli racetrack.
Well, yeah, the power to weight ratio on these things. This things weigh. How much do these things weigh, Tyler?
They're just a hair under 2,000 pounds out of the factory, fully assembled.
Holy! So 2,000 pounds. You're going to be a little lighter without the interior, and then you're making it heavier with the motor that should have came with it.
Yeah. So this engine's about 150 pounds more.
Okay.
That would have been with cast heads.
Right.
Might go aluminum heads. I mean, aluminum intake is substantially lighter than the cast intake too. So yeah, we'll probably net 100 pounds more in the engine for sure. The original is about 286.
Okay.
Says Wikipedia. 289 could be 380 to 400 pounds.
Right.
And again, that's all cast. So
Right.
yeah, we'll see.
And like the transmission that was in here was a standard, I think, is automatic, and that thing was pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's cast iron 3-speed.
So I think your World Series, World whatever it's called,
World class T5
is going to be lighter than that thing.
It's quite a bit lighter. It's an all aluminum 5-speed. That's, I mean, pretty commonly used in most resto mods. A lot of guys like T5, so they're maybe 75 pounds assembled, minus the clutch. So we're saving some weight there too. So I'm very curious to see this thing once it's on the road, if we can get it on a 4-corner scale and see how the balance is. And
they'll say error, too light.
Yeah, have not achieved minimum weight.
Yeah, or after I broke it with my car.
Yeah.
It's a fast whale.
It's a fast
it's a speed whale.
It makes some glorious noises.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the poop.
Cool.
Front end is going to be probably mid-2000s Mustang swap.
Okay.
The car came, there's a McPherson strut right out of the gate. Gonna try and keep that kind of, it's not gonna be original, but we're gonna keep the McPherson strut as the plan.
Okay.
Control arms is kind of a touchy thing with these. The factory ones are actually, they're kind of integrated into the strut. They have a really strange upright. The struts aren't just easy to swap out and make work with these control arms. There is some factory options, but I'm not interested in importing from the UK.
Well, it's not really meant for anything that's going to be this heavy and the kind of the cornering load that you're going to be putting on it. And the cool thing is this whole cross member just unbolts, so you could just redo it.
Yeah, basically building a K member for it is what it's coming down to, and then we might do some custom control arms or something along those lines. Or to see if we can pick some parts out of an old Mustang or something. If the engine came out of a 68 Mustang, it'd be kind of fitting to have some vintage Mustang parts as well. So
That's right.
we'll see.
Well, awesome. Thanks, Tyler.
You bet.